Well, good evening, Independence Mustang Wrestling fans. This is Jason Lang, and it's time to go live here from Wells Fargo Arena with some Consolation Wrestling. We're trying to decide who's going to be wrestling for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th and 8th place. Independence with 3 wrestlers here in this round. We're going to have Jake Jewell stepping out at 160 here shortly. We have the 45 and 52-pound wrestlers out on their Consolation mats right now. And it'll be Jake Jewell stepping on the mat here shortly for Independence to determine his pathway. What will he be wrestling for tomorrow? A loss in that round would send him to the 7th and 8th place match. A win sends him with the opportunity to wrestle for 3rd, 4th, or 5th, 6th, and that would be decided in the first round of tomorrow morning's wrestling. Wrestling starts at 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. The semifinal losers will wrestle the winners of the Consolation matches here tonight to determine the 3, 4, and 5, 6 matches. The losers here tonight in these Consolation matches, once again, will automatically go to that 7th and 8th place match. Jake's got his hands full here tonight at 160. Just the way the bracket shook out, we had an upset at 160. Tristan Johnson of Osage in the quarterfinal round. He was upset, ranked number 1 in the state, and what that does is that crosses Johnson in the bracket down to Jake Jewell. So you got Jake Jewell ranked number 3, Tristan Johnson ranked number 1 coming into this tournament, and they're going to be wrestling in this Consolation quarterfinal, I guess is what you could call it. So we could very easily see the number 1 or number 3 ranked wrestler wrestling for automatically getting put into that 7th and 8th place match. So we're going to keep an eye open here for Jake Jewell to be stepping on the mat anytime now. As I mentioned, we've got the 152-pound matches are on the mats right now, on the Consolation mats. So we should have 160 coming in at any time. So it's going to be Jewell and Tristan Johnson of Osage here at 160 pounds. We've got Nick Holt still moving forward on the championship side. He's going to be in the semifinals at 170 pounds. So congratulations to Nick Holt, and he's got a great opportunity to move forward and be a finalist tomorrow night. So we're looking forward to seeing that match. Holt ranked number 4. Ranked number 4 here at 170 pounds. And he is wrestling Connor Shaw of Garner Hayfield. Shaw knocked off the number 2 wrestler from Glenwood in the first round and has moved forward into the semifinals. Shaw from Garner Hayfield Ventura, 40-2 on the season. And Nick Holt, ranked number 4, 45-3 on the season, a senior. A couple matches away here from Jake Jewell as they're moving through the 152 Consolation matches. So we're getting closer. And at 195 for Matt McMillan. McMillan's going to be wrestling Shane Poppins of Appleton Parkersburg. Poppins was knocked off by the number 1 rated Isaac Schiedenhelm of Denver Tripola, so that crossed Poppins down to the bottom side of the bracket on the Consolation side, placing him against McMillan here in this Consolation semifinal. Poppins had a fall in his first Consolation match. McMillan picked up an 8-4 win against Cochran of Mount Vernon to get to where he is in the bracket. So these crossovers on the Consolation side haven't been super kind to Independence here, but regardless, we're going to have 3 medalists tomorrow night. We'll see where Jake Jewell and Matt McMillan end up. We'll be able to kind of sort that out a little bit here tonight. And we got Nick Holt in the semifinals. And hopefully got him moving forward into the finals, and we don't have to do any more guessing with him, but should he lose in that semifinal round, he'll wrestle a match towards the beginning of the Saturday morning matches to determine the 3, 4, 5, 6 matches. And then we'll have all 3 guys going in the second half of that morning session tomorrow morning to determine whatever places they're at. So once again, we've got a 160-pound match out there right now, so Jake should be getting close here. See if they have anything updated here. Well, they don't even have that 160-pound match on TrackCast right now, so they just got called. And let's see. Not sure what's going. We must have a challenge going on one of the mats. That's what's getting us all slowed down here. On mat number 1, slowing things down. Got the head. Got Billy Roast down there talking to one of the referees down on mat number 1. I don't know what they're trying to sort out. So we have one 160-pound match out there right now, and that's Engelbrecht of Mount Vernon and Stroman of Algona out there. And the next Consolation match called up should be Jake Jewell. And we've got mat 2 in the 3rd period. We got somebody just got thrown. It's always interesting to listen in the crowd here when something big happens. So we've got one match on the Consolation side that is in the 3rd period right now. So Jake Jewell will be out there next. So Jewell once again wrestling number 1 rated Tristan Johnson of Osage, but I guess the rankings don't matter anymore, do they? We're here at the state tournament getting things sorted out. Jake Jewell has wrestled Johnson, I know, at least once this season. Saw it at the Osage Duels, and we lost a 2-point decision there at the Osage Duels. So hopefully get an opportunity to turn the tables and change that around here tonight. Wrestling to keep moving forward in the Consolation side. A loss here on the Consolation side automatically puts either Jake or Matt McMillan into that 7th and 8th place match. Some big matches going on here. The semifinal round of wrestling is always one of the funnest rounds of wrestling to watch, because you've got guys that have a dream of being a finalist, and we got bodies flying all over the place out there. A lot of guys almost getting caught on their back, and it's always fun to watch for upsets and exciting wrestling happening right now. Well, let's see what we got here. We've got a mat clearing out. Mat number 2 maybe is where Jake Jewell's going to end up at, and that's where we're headed to. Here we go. Jake Jewell called up to mat 2. Jewell and Tristan Johnson. Johnson came in ranked number 1. And Jake Jewell ranked number 3. So here we go. Both wrestlers checking in at the head table right now, getting their leg band. And shortly behind that, Nick Holt's not going to be too far behind, because we have 160-pounders on the mats right now, on the semifinal sides as well. So 260-pound matches are out there right now in the semifinals, so we very likely could have Nick Holt and Jake Jewell wrestling at the same time. And here we go. Jake Jewell shake hands, and we're off. Here at 160 pounds, this match decides who moves forward on the Consolation side. One more step forward to try and get an opportunity to get into that 3rd, 4th, or 5th, 6th place match. Both wrestlers on their feet, 20 seconds down in the match. No shots taken at this point in time. And Jake Jewell with a little bit of a shot, single leg. He's got to be able to circle out, and he tries to drop underneath the elbow. Just needs to get himself back up to his feet. Both wrestlers are on their knees right now. Johnson pushes forward, gives Jake the opportunity to get back to their feet. They're facing each other near the edge of the mat. Nice job by Jake Jewell. A little snap down in that front headlock position now. Got the head tied up pretty tight. Needs to get on his toes, get off his knees, and get ready to hustle a little bit. And Johnson gets out of it, so they're back on their feet on the edge. A shot out of bounds. They go out of bounds. Okay, we've got it. Nick Holt called to mat 6, so we're going to have 2 independence wrestlers going now. Nick Holt wrestling in the semifinals against Gardner Hayfield. And we've got Jake Jewell on the mat right now. 45 seconds left in the first period. Jake Jewell, no points scored. Boy, Johnson with a shot, and they go chest to chest. Gets Jake Jewell in kind of a, almost a pancake situation. They just turned into a scramble. Jake Jewell had a single leg. Johnson hustling around behind. Jake just needs to hang on to this leg. Now Jewell on his belly. Johnson trying to come around and hook a leg. And there's 2 awarded to Tristan Johnson. So Tristan Johnson takes the lead here over Jake Jewell. 15 seconds left in the first period. Nick Holt shaking hands, and we're off and going at 170. Nick Holt on the mat for Independence, a semifinalist. Semifinalist wrestling number 5 rated Connor Shaw. Nick Holt ranked number 4. We got a junior in Shaw and a senior in Nick Holt. And we'll try to keep an eye on both of these matches. I've complained about mat 6. Mat 6 is my nemesis because the scorers at that table are always in front of that scoreboard, so it's hard to keep track of the time. Minute 30 left in Nick Holt's match. Jake Jewell starts in the top position here at the beginning of the second period. He's behind 2-0. Jake Jewell trying to return his opponent to the mat after a stand-up. Drops down to a low single leg, kind of hanging on to that ankle right now. Going to lift that up in the air. Don't have a lot of time here. He's got to decide to get him back down to the mat. Goes up to the head, tries a trip, and both wrestlers are on their feet. There's an escape for Tristan Johnson of Osage. So Johnson goes ahead 3-0 over Jake Jewell. No points scored. There's a shot by Garner Hayfield on Nick Holt at the edge of the mat, and they go out of bounds. So no points scored yet there at 170 pounds either. Shaw of Garner Hayfield Ventura gets that first shot, but no points scored yet. Still 0-0 on mat 6 where Nick Holt is at. 45 seconds left in the first period. Minute 13 left in Jake Jewell's match. Both wrestlers kind of on their knees right now, forehead to forehead, work their way back up to their feet. 3-0 score. Nick Holt with a head tap and gets in on a leg. He's got a single leg to his right, but not able to cut a corner. His opponent gets an ankle right away. Jake Jewell fighting off a snap down and go behind by Johnson. Nick Holt hanging on that leg. They get a new start back in the middle. And Jake Jewell gets dropped to his hip. Johnson hooks the ankle and gives up 2. So 5-0 score right now. Johnson of Osage over Jake Jewell right now. 15 seconds left in the first period in Nick Holt's match. No points scored yet. Both wrestlers have had an opportunity. I think Nick Holt's shot a little bit better of an opportunity, but once again on that single leg, not able to hustle the hips around and cut that corner. Opponent got a hold of the ankle pretty quickly. 20 seconds left in the second period. Jake Jewell behind 5-0. And Nick Holt heading into the second period. And it's going to be Garner Hayfield with choice, and he's going to go down on the mat to start the second period. Last few seconds of the second period ticking away for Jake Jewell. And second period's wrapped up. Jake Jewell behind 5-0. Against Tristan Johnson of Osage. Garner Hayfield picks up an escape and tries a little outside single leg, pulls the head down and kind of tapping on that outside leg a little bit. Did change levels, but Nick Holt fighting that off fairly easily. Third period, Jake Jewell's going to start. Both wrestlers are on their feet, so 5-0 score, Jewell behind, and those guys are on their feet in the third period. Minute 45 left in the third period. 1-0 score, Nick Holt against Shaw of Garner Hayfield. Garner Hayfield picked up the escape here at the beginning of the second period. They're down 2. A minute 12 left. Minute 12 left in that second period. Jake Jewell giving up another takedown. He's got to be careful. Doesn't want to give up any back points as well. Hanging on to a single leg. Just trying not to give up any more points. See if the referee stalemates at 1:13 left in the third period. Jake Jewell hanging on to a single leg. Not going over. Johnson, does get the takedown now. 7-0. A shot by Connor Shaw. Shaw of Garner Hayfield. Nick Holt tries to shuck it by and go behind, and they get in a little flurry there, but go out of bounds. Both wrestlers kind of circling each other, seeing who can get around behind, but no points. So 1-0 score, 37 seconds left. 1-0, 37 seconds left. Nick Holt on the mat right now. Jake Jewell gets the escape. 7-1 score, 38 seconds left in the third period. Jake Jewell's looking upper body. He's going to lock double overhooks right now. 30 seconds over top of both arms, just trying to pull it over and kick it over top, but not able to do so. Gives up the takedown in the process. 9-1 score in the third period. 20 seconds left for Jake Jewell, and that's a lot of points to overcome. Nick Holt, both wrestlers still up on their feet. 1-0 score, 7 seconds left. And it looks like that's how the second period is going to wrap up. Jake Jewell picks up an escape. 9-2 score, 2 seconds left. Jake Jewell trying another throw and walks into a toss attempt by Johnson of Osage. And that's how it wraps up. And those two shake each other's hands, even off to the side. A lot of respect for each other. They've wrestled each other a few times over the course of the season. Nick Holt starts in the down position in the third period, 1:41 left. He got to his feet, had the stand up, but Shaw was able to drop down, back down onto the leg, and get Holt returned back to the mat. Now I got to keep an eye open for 195 here. So Jake Jewell with the loss there. He's going to be wrestling for 7th and 8th place tomorrow. And Nick Holt on the mat right now. He's in the down position behind 1-0 with 1:22 left in this third period. And we're looking for Matt McMillan to be stepping out here anytime now in a consolation match at 195. McMillan wrestling Poppins of Applington's Parkersburg. Nick Holt still behind 1-0. And so far his opponent, it's not like he's put the legs in or anything, tying him up real hard. Just a solid ride in that top position, tying up wrists and doing just enough to keep our hips pinned down on the mat. Nick's working awfully hard to try and just get a base maintained. And top guy does get a call for stalling. He's not getting out to the side, so a stall call on the top wrestler. And we're down to 48 seconds. We're under a minute here. Nick Holt needs to get an escape to tie this up. And once again, top wrestler, he's hanging over an ankle now. Hanging on to an ankle. He had an ankle trapped with his leg and on an ankle, and it's just... let's see what the referee's going to do. We're down to 30 seconds. Got to get him off the hips. 23 seconds. Nick Holt trying to tripod, trying to kick out of a single leg. Turns back into him. That could be reversal. That's two. That's two for Nick Holt. 10 seconds left. He's got to hang on. He's in a crab ride situation. Tries to suck him back. He's just got to hang on for 5 seconds. They go out of bounds. 5 seconds. He's got to trap an ankle. Nick Holt with the reversal. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Ride him, cowboy. He's got to hang on to something here for 5 seconds. Gets the ankle trap. Catches that right away. 2 seconds. 1 second. And he's a finalist. Nick Holt is a finalist. Picks up the reversal right at the end of the third period. Was trying to kick out of a single leg. His opponent dropped down to an ankle. Picked it up. Nick Holt trying to kick out of it. And instead he turned right back into it. Pushed his opponent over backwards and picked up the reversal. We got a finalist, Independence, tomorrow night at 170 pounds. Great job. Great job, Nick Holt. Way to go. We got a finalist. He had a pathway, and he went ahead and took it. Had a path to get to the finals, and he took advantage of it. Great job, Nick Holt. All right, now let's get excited for hopefully Matt McMillan coming out here.
Semi-final match number 5 at 195. Bryce Espoil, West
So Matt McMillan will be the next match called up. So it's just kind of fast and furious here. We're going to get these 3 matches over with. So Independence will have, for sure, 3 medalists. Jake Jewell will be wrestling for 7th and 8th tomorrow night. Nick Holt's going to put himself in the finals. Put himself in the finals with a 2-1 win. Took it right down to the end. We're down to 30 seconds, and I'm not sure. I didn't know Nick Holt was going to get out of there or not. Hadn't really had much of an opportunity to get an escape. Finally got that tripod position up on both hands and feet, and opponent dropped down to the single leg. Nick Holt tried to kick out of it, kicked out of it once and went ahead and just turned right back into it and pushed his opponent over backwards. And I think his opponent thought he was going to end up out of bounds, and I think even the coaches for Garner-Hayfield were wondering how in the world did that move not get out of bounds. But Nick Holt gets the job done. Had 5 seconds left at the end, just had to ride his opponent out, and he did exactly that. Nick Holt's a finalist for Independence Outstanding Job. Next Consolation mat called will be Matt McMillan. And looks like we've got a few matches that are in the third period. It looks like it'll be over in mat number 8. Mat number 8 has 20 seconds left in that Consolation match, and it's a 4-3 score. But of course, as soon as I start making that call, somebody will score a point, tie it up, and go into overtime. So McMillan's getting ready to go at 195. And once again, he'll be wrestling Shane Poppins. Poppins 36-6 on the season. He is a senior. And Poppins ranked number 4. Ranked number 4 at 195 coming into the tournament. He lost by, I believe it's a major decision. Yeah, major decision to Isaac Sheetenhelm. So Matt McMillan knows Isaac Sheetenhelm pretty well. All right, let's see here. Matt McMillan did not get called to mat number 8. Let's see. Thought that's where he was headed to. But we'll wait for maybe mat 7. They've got 25 seconds left, so McMillan should be stepping out any time now. So once again, McMillan and Poppins. Poppins lost by major decision to Sheetenhelm, and Matt McMillan, the last couple times he's wrestled Sheetenhelm, has kind of had the same type of result. So that just says to me this is going to be a really close match. And so that match has wrapped up. Okay, we are going to be over at mat 7, so here we go. This is the third and final match tonight for Independence. Matt McMillan stepping on the mat. We got a finalist with Nick Holt. Jake Jewell wrestling for 7th and 8th tomorrow. And Matt McMillan running across the mats right now. He's going to wrestle Shane Poppins of Aplington Parkersburg. Poppins came into the tournament ranked number 4, and McMillan ranked number 5. So we're going to settle out that number 4 and 5 ranking right now at this point in time. All right, both guys at the table getting all checked in, getting their leg bands. And once again, this will be also the final match of the evening for Independence. This round here is loaded with excitement, and it also gets over pretty quick too, especially when we have our guys stacked up at 60 and 71 and now 195. So both wrestlers out on the mat, got the leg bands on, getting ready to shake hands, and let's go Matt McMillan. Let's move forward. I will say this, Matt's got his goal of getting the medal. He's going to walk out of here a four-time state qualifier, and finally this year he's going to end up on that podium regardless of what happens in this match. So I'm excited for Matt in that respect. Poppins now has McMillan on the mat in a front headlock. And McMillan able to get back up to his feet. Poppins drops into a single leg, but McMillan has the ankle. If he can jack that ankle up, I ran out of bounds. He's going to end up out of bounds. McMillan had an opportunity to he reached over top off that single leg, reached over top, pulled the ankle out. He could have knocked that hip over. He would have had a good opportunity to come around behind and score. So Poppins, after the snap down, gets McMillan to the mat. Once he let him up, he got in on that kind of single leg, a little bit of a high crotch. He got underneath, kind of ducked underneath of it. 1:15 left in the first period. Both wrestlers on their feet, kind of on the edge. So right now is an opportunity if Matt can circle and shoot him off. That's what I would advise him to. Instead, Poppins just kind of pushes him off. 1:05 left in the first period. McMillan on the mat right now against Poppins of Appleton-Parkersburg. No points scored yet. Poppins, another kind of a little bit of an arm drag, drop down to a single leg. But Matt steps out of that, no problem. 52 seconds left. They're both kind of in the, not sure where Matt's going with this. He's kind of double underhook there, going out of bounds, but Matt doesn't usually tie up quite like that, so a kind of an unusual position for him. There's a head tap by Poppins. He gets in, started on the single leg, but then kind of slid up the body, not able to control Matt's hips. They go out of bounds again. Time for Matt to hit one of those low single legs. Circle his opponent to the side he wants him to step. There's Poppins with another outside single leg. Keeps driving through it, has the leg up in the air, hits a trip, and gets a takedown on McMillan. So a takedown for Poppins. Appleton-Parkersburg, he goes ahead 2-0 here with 20 seconds left in the first period. McMillan on the edge of the mat, up to his feet, turns and faces, and gets the one. So 2-1 score with that escape. Got to get Matt going forward now. I think his better defense is going to be trying to turn on the offense a little bit here. Down to 7 seconds. And they're in that collar tie, just ear-to-ear collar tie right now. And period runs out. So second period, looks like AP gets their choice. He defers, and McMillan's going to start in that down position. So we have an opportunity to tie things up right now. Got a quick escape after that takedown, so let's see if he can do that again in this new start here in the second period. Whistle blows, McMillan up to his feet. Got hand control, turns in. Poppins drops down to the legs, though. Double leg drives him out of bounds. New start, they're going to head back to the middle. Right idea by Matt McMillan. Had good hand control. When he turned in, it just didn't get his hips back far enough, and Poppins was able to drop down to a double leg and drive him out of bounds. New start back in the middle, 1:54 left in the second period. McMillan jumps forward, gets up to his feet briefly, and now Poppins has a leg in on the right-hand side. Lets that leg out pretty quickly. And they're on the edge. McMillan's based up. Not sure what Poppins has over on the left-hand side. Almost acts like he has a chicken wing, but he does not. And they're, like I said, towards the edge here, and Poppins shoves him out of bounds. New start, 1:28 left in the second period. McMillan's done a pretty good job of keeping his hips underneath of him. Just needs to continue hitting his stand-up off the whistle. Oh, this time Matt wasn't very fast off the whistle, and that's going to... Oh, Poppins trying to put a leg in again over on that right-hand side. Leg in, and he's over top. I think McMillan was able to kick out of that leg. Yes, maybe. No, now he steps up, and Poppins has that leg in on the right-hand side. Has it laced up pretty tight. Now he lets it out. I see a leg, and he had a chicken wing. So earlier he did have a wing in. Oh, he runs that chicken wing over on McMillan. McMillan giving up back points. Oh, and gives up the fall. McMillan gets run over in that wing and gets pinned. Wow, Poppins, once he slapped that chicken wing in, he just ran that thing straight forward. I don't know if it caught Matt off guard or what, but took him pretty much straight to his back. And so McMillan, a loss by fall here in that Consolation match at 195, and McMillan will be wrestling for 7th and 8th place as well. So Jake Jewell and Matt McMillan will be wrestling tomorrow morning. That session starts at 10 o'clock, but the first round will actually be matches between semifinalists and guys that won in their Consolation round tonight. It'll be the second half of that session tomorrow. So the session tomorrow is scheduled to start at 10 o'clock in the morning. But our Independence wrestlers will not be going until the second half of that. So they have it scheduled from 10 a.m. to 2:15. I think what we're going to go ahead and do is we'll probably go on the air at about noon. We'll try to get some messages out on Facebook and let everybody know what's going on. About noon is probably more than likely when we'll go on the air tomorrow, because we will not have any consolation semifinal matches. It'll be just the 7th and 8th place matches for Jake Jewell and Matt McMillan. And I think if we go on the air about noon and start letting people know what's going on at noon, we should be able to sort out where Matt McMillan and Jake Jewell are going to finish up in this tournament. And more exciting is we're going to have Nick Holt in the finals for Independence. So we got a reason to stay up late tomorrow night and watch those 170-pound matches. 170 pounds Class 2A finalists. We've got Nick Holt wrestling for Independence. So congratulations to those guys, and congratulations to both McMillan and Jewell. It's been a long season, long senior seasons. They've had great careers, and they're going to get one more match. We'd like to have seen them a little bit higher up on the podium, but the way these brackets shake out down here at State Wrestling, you just never quite know who in the world you're going to have to deal with next. Even on the Consolation side, you got a #1 rated guy coming back on you on the Consolation side. So McMillan and Jewell wrestling for 7th and 8th tomorrow. We're going to go on the air about noon and keep people caught up with that. And we'll also get it out via social media about what time we anticipate Jewell and McMillan wrestling those matches. So that pretty well wraps it up here for tonight. Those are the matches we were keeping an eye on. So thanks a lot for all those that took the time to listen here tonight. I'd like to thank our sponsors for Independence Mustang Wrestling: Adams Family Furniture, Bachman Tool and Die, Bank, Iowa; Bill's Pizza and Smokehouse, Esh and Tarpey, Napa; Kegler and Aaron Dentistry; Mary's Flower Patch and Gifts; Medical Associates of Independence; Ole Ira Realty, Real Estate and Insurance; Security State Bank; Smith D&L Insurance, Dennis and Rusty Donley; and Wapsie Valley Creamery. So thanks a lot for those sponsors for allowing us to be here and have Independence Mustang Wrestling tonight live streaming and get a chance to see how our wrestlers were doing. So hey, thanks a lot everyone for listening. We'll be back at noon tomorrow with matches for Jake Jewell and Matt McMillan, and that will wrap up our broadcasting at that point in time, as we'll just go ahead and let the finals play out. Well, I'll take that back. We might come back and do that. I'll have to see what Matt Shannon wants to do. So I'll let you know tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, if we're going to go live stream or we're just going to let that go on TV. So we'll get back with you tomorrow morning. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a great night.